Now we're going to get into loops, and I'm just going to start off with a comment here, demarcate this area. So we have these arrays and dictionaries that we've been working with. We're going to continue using those and use them to manipulate inside of loops. So here I'm going to print inventory items array, and what we're going to do is start a loop. So we're going to do for I in inventory list, create a body, and whatever we want to do with this I is print it. And then we'll get our output here, 5 items. So the way this construct works is we're specifying the item that we want to loop through. So it's going to be some kind of collection. And under the covers, Swift is creating this enumerator, which allows us to basically walk through each element inside of the collection. And it pulls out a variable for us to use as it goes to each element. And then in the body, we can do something with the element. In this case, we're only doing a print. And the element is going to be a string because that's what we added to the array, was just strings. And so there's not much we can do, so we're just printing it with a string. You can have booleans, integers. You can also have classes, or class instances rather. And in this case, if they were class instances, you can access properties, assuming they're there. You can access methods on the instance, assuming the class had methods. So there's a lot you can do. We'll see how to do some of those more advanced kinds of looping a little bit later when we get into looking at classes. So we're going to now move on to the dictionary. So we do have a dictionary that we have also been working with. It's going to be inventory items dictionary. And we're going to do a for I in. This is going to be inventory. And what we're going to do is loop through the food items inside of the dictionary. So we want to get keys because that's where the strings were for the food items. So we can just print each key. And down here we have inventory items. We have the for. So that is printing out the items for the dictionary. If we go back up here, we had 5 in the array. We have the 4 in the dictionary. So we can clearly see it is printing out items for the dictionary. Then there's another type of loop. This is going to be inventory items range. So this is going to be a range loop. So we're going to have for I in 0 to 2. So I'm doing 3 dots here. Create the body, print, and it's going to be inventory list. Drop in an I. And let's see what happens in this case. So here's our inventory items range. We have 3. Now we're going to print out the count. So we have inventory list, count. It's not actually going to print it out. We're just going to look at it over here on the right side where the output is coming from when we're not printing it into the console. So there's 5 items. But you'll notice we're only getting the 3 down here with our loop. So why is that happening? What is going on here? All right, so you can see we have the same kind of construct. We say for, and then we have this I in. Well, what is I in this case? What is it inside of? What is this collection here? Because it's not any of our arrays or dictionaries that we've created. So what we've done is basically used a range of numbers, and we're just going to go from 0 to 2. This is index based. And then down here, we can make use of a dictionary, an array, some other collection item if we want to, and just drop in the index. And then it will pull out that item. Of course, this is going to work better with an array because you can't, you're very limited on what you can do in that regard with a dictionary. So we just drop in a 0, a 1, a 2, and we get the corresponding item. And to see how this works, we're going to just print inventory list so we can see the whole array, and then we can really tell where we're at in the array. All right, so we have apples, bananas, milk. And those are index 0, 1, 2. And that's what we've clarified. Indexes 0, 1, 2. So we get the corresponding items printed out, and that's how that works. Well, what if we want eggs and bread? So we think about the positions of these. So they're at position 4 and 5. Now if we subtract our offset. So our offset is -1, so this means we're going to have indexes 3 and 4. So what if you want just those? So we go 3 and 4. Now we're going to get a different set of results. We get eggs and bread in that case. What about something in the middle then? We can definitely do that. We just think about our positions here, or you can just start counting off the index as 0. So we start here, which is where we want 1, 2, 3. So 1, 2, 3. Use the first and last numbers. So in this case, we'll have a 1, and then we'll have a 3. And that should be bananas, milk, eggs, which is what we get. So that's how a range works. It can be very useful when you know your starting and ending points you want to get out of a particular kind of collection. And again, it works best with arrays because you're dropping in an index. Next, what we're going to do is get into conditional logic. So it's going to be if-else statements. It's going to be switch statements. So a lot of different types of forking logic.